Today, we are installing a Rainman Watermaker. Alright, so first thing here, let me explain what's happening. We have already done what is, I guess, a semi-installation or a soft installation, something like that. What I mean by that is we already have the membrane in place and also the high pressure unit mounted in the engine room. Check this out. Inside this cabinet here, which is next to our little dinette area right off of the companionway, we have mounted the high output membranes. So here's the engine room, there's the engine, and then sitting right here on this platform is the pressure unit. To start this off, what we're going to do is install a two-way valve directly under this pressure unit, and that way we're going to be able to turn the valve from basically salt water that's going into the unit, or turn it over to fresh water in order to flush the unit. Here we are back in the Watermaker membrane cabinet. This is the water that will ultimately end up in our water tank. So we have to run this hose from the membranes over to the water tank. But to do so, I think what we're going to try is going down under the floor here, underneath our battery bank right there, underneath the floor here, and then coming out inside this cabinet here, which is where the water tank is. Vacuum, please. Very difficult.
What's your leg doing back here?
What was that?
Just keep doing what you're doing, okay?
Just waiting for you to tell me what to do.
Okay. Do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I hit something.
That's okay. Thank you, Molly.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the membranes are over in that direction, and then the hose goes down through the wall over here, and then it comes out right there, and then it goes into the floor there. So now we need to basically get the hose that's poking out from under the floor there hooked or grabbed or otherwise pulled over this way underneath the floor to come out of that hole right there so that we can get it going into the water tank. But it's very tricky to get to back there. Luckily we have a few different tools to possibly help out with this. We have a long piece of wire that's kind of hooked at the end. We have a grabber thingy, and we also have a digital borescope. And this really sounds like a job for And after much contortion, much trial and error, much tribulation, quite a bit of foul language from the Admiral. But the hose is over here. All right, now we just need to install a fitting that would allow us to connect this hose to that water tank. Molly with, whoa, what are you doing? Did I interrupt a yawn?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
All right, with this tool, what's the name of that one?
Ratchet.
Ratchet. And what is that?
Ratchet socket thing.
Yeah, a ratchet socket thing. With that ratchet socket thing, remove those nuts from that water tank lid. Hey,
Yes.
I'm sorry you got aluminum shavings in your carpet.
It's okay.
So there's only a couple things left to do, and the next thing on the list is actually finding a place to run this hose somewhere here in the engine room so that we can discharge what's called the brine water out of the boat. So trying to find a place in the engine room to make it leave the boat. There are some options here, and I think I have found where it's going to go, but let me explain my logic here. So let me just give you a look around so you can kind of get your bearings. This is looking forward in the boat. Down there is the engine, and this brine tube right here is coming out of this wall. The membranes are just on the other side of this wall. This black hose here is actually the output from the high pressure pump that's going to the membranes, and then again the green is the brine. So I was thinking about tapping into this pipe here, which is one of the cockpit scuppers. You can see right here there's already a little hose tapped into that. The reason I don't think I want to do that is I don't like the idea of this brine hose and connector being so close to all this electronic stuff. I mean, I've got a breaker there, I've got fuses here and here, I've got a shunt there for the batteries, I've got this, I've got that, I've got the inverter. You know, lots of electronic stuff going on over here. So what I think I'm going to do instead is actually run the hose over here somehow and tap into this plumbing. This is basically where the bilge pumps exit the boat. And the idea I have in mind is actually taking this little T connector and cutting this hose here, inserting this T connector. Actually, it would end up being maybe up here somewhere. And then that way I will have a place to run that green brine hose out of the boat. So it'll go in here and then out the boat that way. The tricky part with using this fitting is that it's actually a little big for this hose. So what I have to do probably is shave these barbs down to make it fit, and then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this little push to connect fitting installed here. So I'm probably going to heat this up, get it soft enough where I can get this kind of inserted and screwed in, Possibly even put a hose clamp on it. I'm not really sure, but this is the idea. There's going to be a little MacGyvering necessary to get this little assembly installed up there. But I'm actually pretty good at MacGyvering, so we're going to make it happen, I think. Let's try it. Alright, so at this point the installation is pretty much complete of the Rainman Watermaker. So what we're going to do next is work on getting power to the unit. We're going to get the generator fueled up, get the cords run, and then fire up this baby. No? Can't quite get it? Ah, okay. All right, let me see if I can get it. I want to do it. Okay, go ahead. Here we go.
Right here?
Yep, back left.
Right here?
Yep. Now it is time to start sending the water to the tank. So all we're doing here is opening this valve to send it to the tank and then closing this one to stop the flow from the test line. All right, ladies, great job on the Rainman Watermaker installation. And that thing pumps out some water.
It does, and it tastes great.
I think that's a big upgrade in quality of life out here while cruising around, is to be able to make your own water. So I'm pretty darn excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, being able to burn some gasoline and fill our tanks with water, it's really cool. It's almost like magic.
Yeah, it is.
So, ladies, I think there's really only one thing left to do. Bye.